Hey guys, so welcome back to my channel. Yeah, let's talk about, I guess food items, I want to say. Um, I mean, it's perfect time of year to talk about it, right? Because Thanksgiving is probably about another week or so. And everybody's trying to scrounge around trying to find their perfect little desserts, what they're going to put on the table, what their side items are going to be. I mean, everybody, of course, are going to make turkey. Of course, there's people out there that don't like turkey on Thanksgiving. They'll have they'll have ham, or they may have. I know some people actually are just making chicken. I mean, or fish. I mean, which there's nothing wrong with that. Whatever your dish is, make it. So, anyways, I am going around trying to figure out what I thought I was going to do desserts this year. So, typically I've always done desserts, but the last couple years, because I've been dealing with a lot of health ailments, my daughter has taken over that reign. But this year I thought I can probably get in there. If I bake it ahead of time, I can probably make some desserts. Since she's been in school, at college, she's been doing all that. And she makes a really good turkey. So she decides she's going to make a turkey. We usually make a couple turkeys. If we can afford to do so, we usually make a couple of them and we just kind of eat on them, make it different dishes throughout the rest of the pretty much holiday season. And we don't really actually cook again to almost Christmas. So we kind of eat off of that. But anyway, so I thought I can get in there, I can make a dessert. I can go back in, you know, make take my title for queen of desserts. So I'm sitting here thinking, okay, obviously we're gonna have pumpkin pie, right? Because I got in we have a little family group chat going on, and I put on there, okay, fam, what kind of pies do you guys want? I get told pumpkin pie. Okay, obviously pumpkin pie, but okay, what other? I thought maybe I was gonna make about 4 pies. The sun just totally went away, so just disregard. It got dark suddenly, but I'm like I'm gonna make a total of maybe 4 pies. Okay, and so somebody else chimed in and was like, "Hey, I want a pumpkin pie as well." Okay, fine. I'll make 2 pumpkin pies. Obviously, my signature is an apple cinnamon pie. A cinnamon apple pie because I mean to me that screams fall. you know, and if not, close to Christmas, right? So, because cinnamony, those smells. And I'm like, okay, it'll go well with the smell of the pumpkin from the nutmeg, the spices on that. So, I can handle that. I can handle pumpkin spice, cinnamony smells in the kitchen. I need a third pie, okay? I'm not making 2 apple and 2 pumpkin. That's it. I normally would make a pecan pie because something nutty makes sense, right? But I obviously can eat it because I have no upper teeth and I'm still in the process of trying to get my dental shit all worked out. Excuse my language. But that's a whole nother story because we've already talked about that. So when I thought it was all worked out, my teeth start failing, my bottom ones start failing me now. And now I can't really wear my partials and you can't, the tops are pointless if you don't have the bottom. So therefore, they're just, yeah. So I'm trying to work on figuring how financial I'm going to afford to go ahead and just take care of my bottom ones so I can just have a full set of false teeth. But until I get there, I cannot chew nuts. So I am not going to make a pecan pie. No, and I asked, I will, but I don't mind making it if more than 2 to 3 people are going to eat it. Don't tell me you're just going to have one slice and then that's it. And then we still have 8 slices of the pie still left. I mean, it's like, no, I'm not going all that effort, energy making this. And plus, nuts are expensive. You think groceries are expensive now? Imagine buying nuts now. It is even more expensive than usual. So I'm over here thinking, I will make it. I have no problem making it if at least 3 people will eat a pecan pie. Nobody really chimed up. So I said, okay, nix the pecan pie. So, although I do like the smell of it when it's baking, I'm just saying. But I'm not going to make it if no one's going to eat it. So, we're not going to do pecan pie this year. Okay, so we have 2 pumpkins and we have 1 apple cinnamon. What other pie? Well, one person in my family apparently loves, what do you call it? My knuckles just keeps getting turned over. Um, likes buttermilk pie. Ugh. Okay. Again, I mean, I'm not making it because that one person. I'll make it if it's like say their birthday or something and it's for them only because they're the only ones that will probably eat it. But I am not going to make another pie again for just one person to have. No one needs to eat a whole pie for themselves unless it's your birthday. Hey, why not? Or it's a get well present or something, or just thinking of you. Or I felt like making a pie and so I made you something. That's different. Any other time of the year. Thanksgiving, no. No. I'm doing it for the group and not just for one person. So, buttermilk pie is out the question. Then I get this told I like cherry pies. Ooh, I like cherry pie too. Oh, can we do a cherry? No, we are not doing cherry pie. Cherry pie is for like February. Maybe, cherry pie screams Valentine's. It screams chocolate cordials. If you don't know what that is, Google it. But typically, it's just the chocolate covered cherries. And those are gross to me as well. No, we are not making a cherry pie. We are not making a strawberry pie. We're not making anything berry. We're not making a rhubarb. We're not making blackberry. We're not making any berry pies. Berry pies, at the very least, belong in a they belong in an other, like more like spring to summer. They do not belong in a typical Thanksgiving meal. Now, people are probably thinking, well, what's wrong with it? It's just pie. It's fruit and pie. Get them what they want. This is what they want. Yes, but I'm making it. So I did ask, what would you like? But again, like I said, I want it to fit for the season. I'm not making something that doesn't fit the season. Those people may say cherry kind of does fit it. Rhubarb does fit it. Blackberry kind of fits it. No, it does not. No, it does not. No, ma'am. No, sir. No. No way. Nope. Nope. I don't care what you say. It does not belong. So I am over here thinking, okay, fine. We're not gonna. So y'all know we're not doing those flavors. At this point, that's when I'm sitting here thinking, okay, and no one chimes in anymore. So I'm like, okay, it's been a couple days. I chimed in one more time. I said, hey guys, I'm already making my list of what I need to go to the grocery store for. I mean, I'm probably going to do it sometime next week. You got a week to think about what we discussed, what we debriefed, everything we went over. What other kind of pie do you want? Well, yeah. Okay. No response. No response. I immediately go in and I'm like, okay, so I got no response. So I guess I'm just going to have to come up with something. So me and my bipolar head last night did not sleep. So we just kind of doom scrolled on social media. We're going through all the reels. What started off as talking about a conspiracy theories about Britney Spears, and then it turned into some guy doing something really crazy with some kind of shaving cream, and we're not even going to discuss that. And then to some kind of foreign videos or shorts of that appear on the still shot looks kind of illegal, but then when you push play or you actually watch it, it's nothing like that. That's a whole nother story. And I didn't and of course I go to the comment section to see what was going on because I'm nosy. So I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm not seeing anything in English. So I'm like clicking on Google Translate on all of them. You know how you got like Facebook, especially Facebook, it says translate or whatever. So you click on it, hoping for the best. And a lot of them were like, oh, just a bunch of Jesus quotes. Okay. Keep scrolling. Moved on. I wasted a whole 5 minutes on that video. So I keep scrolling. Then I come across, some of my usuals, I love stand-up comedies, so there's some few jokes on there, and those are funny. A couple satire things. I don't really have a whole lot of political stuff on there, which is I'm glad. I to me, reels and shorts should be nothing but just talking about, your everyday life like this, or asking questions about the world, or should be just funny parodies, you know what I'm saying? It should be so lighthearted. That's why we got 30 seconds, it's 30 seconds of laughter, you know what I mean? So, or to get a small someone's face, or to reassure somebody who's having a bad day and who's just having to be drone scrolling because they have depression, and this is their only window to the outside world, and so they're hoping for that one little glimmer of hope, and you happen to be that one. So yes, that's what to me it should be about, not political. But I digress. So I'm doom scrolling, okay, and I come across. Uh, so I am actually been doom scrolling here. I did come across a guy, right? He had kind of a heavy English accent in a way. Actually not heavy English, but I think it was actually, I meant to say he actually has a heavy French accent, but he spoke really good English, if that makes sense. You can make out what he was saying, but you can definitely tell he has an accent. Anyways, so apparently he's got a pretty good following. He cooks a lot or whatever it is, but he's in his Christmas PJs, which I recognize because I think I have the female version of those PJs. But he was cooking, making this 3-ingredient dessert. And I'm like, I watched it, right? He did it, and it was like, it's not a pie, but I'm like, those are cute. I was like, that looks good. I'm thinking, I can do this. I can do this. What he takes a puff pastry shells. Now, I have never worked with puff pastries. I have never done anything puff pastry. But apparently I'm going to try it for Thanksgiving. Perfect timing, right? Does that sound great? Does that sound like a great idea? No, it doesn't. But I'm going to do it. I just sent my husband out because I could not find puff pastries at all, but I can find the sheets, but not the shells. He said, at first I thought it was cookies he had out because I've never seen it. I do not, like I said, I don't deal with puff pastries. I've never seen puff pastries outside of a box. In the box, they already, the picture on the box always automatically already shows you what it already looks cooked. So I'm over here thinking, okay. And he really halfway shows the box. He doesn't actually display it like as if he was getting paid to do it. He was more like, it was just like a half, like, kind of like a quick, I'm going to make these, and like that. So he opened up the box up. He set them out, and they look really cute. Look like, to me, they're flat, and they look like freaking little decorative, little cookies you have, like an old lady would have with her tea, And I'm like, what in the... And he's like, you're going to like this. You're going to like this. It's going to be so cute. And everything already decorated. And it's going to be so easy for you to make. And everybody's going to think you spent so much time on this. And he was talking about this. And I was like, what? I'm focused on the dang puff pastry itself. Puff means what? To puff up, right? My brain did not compute that. I'm over here like, so I comment. I said, what cookies are those? Yeah, what cookies are those? Until I actually had to go and rewind, back up the video, and literally kept pushing pause because he does it so quickly, like the first 2 seconds, literally 1, 2, and then the box is gone. So I'm like trying to see what was that box. So it took me a hot minute, but I figured it out. And I'm thinking, it's like a pastry. It's like a puff pastry dough thing and not cookies. And so I'm like, okay, but I left my comment there wrong because I really got bombarded in the comment section. Told Those aren't, don't you know a puff pastry? He says it's puff pastry. Oh, did you not look at the box? Did you not see the picture? You need to just keep scrolling if you don't know what he's talking about. Oh my God, I got hated on because I asked what cookies those were, and I'm sorry. I, I didn't pay attention to the box part. I just looked at what he was putting on the cookie sheet. It was a cookie sheet, and they were flat like cookies. They looked like some kind of biscuit cookie, like the kind you dip in a tea or something like that. And I'm like, they look fancy, and I'm trying to be fancy. Me and my old, you know, poor household income is over. Like, I need those fancy cookies. Yeah. So let's move on for that. Anyway, so he puts the puff pastry on the cookie sheet, and he puts them on there. He puts them in the oven. I guess I'm assuming he says 15 minutes. It sounded like he said 50, but I think he meant 1-5, not 50. I'm over here like, that's a long time to cook a pastry. But I don't know puff pastries. Like I said, I don't know. I don't cook with those. I have no clue. So he when he pulls them out, and oh my God, the ginormous, they literally grew. This looks bad. They literally grew. Okay, they literally puffed up. Like, why am I shocked? The name is puff pastry for a reason. My my so simple mindedness over here is literally shocked. I'm easily amused over a puff pastry. Okay, so I'm over here thinking, okay, okay, that's simple. So what are we doing? And it doesn't even look like the little cute little design. There's no more design anymore. The when they were flat and frozen, they literally look like a cute little design. I don't. I guess what was the point of the design? I don't know. Maybe there's some kind of logistical reasoning behind it, but apparently the design is gone. But he didn't say nothing about the design. So he just kept saying, "Oh, they're gonna look cute." Okay, they were cute before you cooked them, but okay. And then he suddenly starts spooning really easily the very center. There's like it goes like a little circle, like a little cap. He literally pops off the little cap in the middle. Like, is it supposed to do that? Like, what are we doing with that? Like, okay. And when he pops it off, again, my simple mind is so here, it's kind of hollow. You mean the thing just domed up and there's like nothing in the center? And I'm like, I am shocked over here. So I'm easily amused. And you gotta understand though, this is very late at night. I take night meds, so I am really loopy. Like, literally, I take these meds, and if I get up out of bed, I am walking like I'm drunk. I'm bumping into walls. My family can attest to this. I cannot drive. If you call me in the middle of the night and just ask me to come pick you up, I'm sitting in an Uber because no, I wouldn't even make it to the car to get into it. I wouldn't even make it out of my house without having bruises or tripping over something, and there's nothing there. I trip over my own two left feet. It's not going to happen. So I'm doom scrolling this, and my brain is like, what? I'm like, and I seriously, the phone is like this to me. And I am like, what is going on here? So I end up being amazed at him scooping out this little hole, this little center part. And then he comes out with this, like, I'm seeing like glitter going everywhere because he pulls out this nice big old round tub of cheese, the Philly cheesecake filling. What? Okay, if you knew me, I like cheesecake, but I hate the crust. I do not like the crust. I'm weird like that. I will just eat the cheesecake part. No one told me that a tub of that exists. Maybe it's good. Maybe I don't make my arteries, my body. Obviously, I don't need any more food like that, but a tub, like a tub of butter, this thing exists. I can just open it up and eat little bites of the filling of the cheesecake. I don't have to do no preparation. I just scoon it out and eat it. No one told me that exists. Why did I not know that exists? And I actually literally Googled that. It's been out for years. decades now. Why? Maybe Girly is like living on a rock over here because I'm like, I didn't even know. So I'm over here like, I need that. I need that. So I'm watching him spoon a a nice good tablespoon. Actually, he's not even using a spoon. Actually, at this point, he's actually using an little ice cream scoop, like but the mini ones, not the big ones that we normally normal people use. You know how we normally use the big scoop for ice cream. Or if you're poor like me, sometimes you just use a regular spoon and it's just the ice cream spoon. But he literally uses the miniature little scoop, and he scoops some out of the tub and puts it in each one. And I'm like, okay. Well, okay. And then he goes and proceeds to pull out some strawberries. It's healthy now. I can eat that tub as long as I have strawberries, right? It's healthy because it's got fruit. My American self says yes. If it's got fruit in it, it says the word fruit. It's got a picture of a fruit. It's healthy, right? That's how Americans believe. So, and that's a kind of a hidden also joke between me and my daughter because we watch a lot of YouTube and we watch a lot of cooking on from um, like I guess from South Korea, India, and all them. We actually watch a lot of the street foods and watching them, as well as watching bakeries cook from over there, and because they're very aesthetically pleasing. Most of the time, there's no talking; you're just watching them cook mass amounts of desserts and foods, and it's lovely, and you can just watch it and talk at the same time because they're not talking, they're not explaining. If they do, it's literally written in a little like caption. But yeah. Anyway, so I'm like, we when we watch it, they make a lot of good desserts, and there's a lot of like whipping cream or like a lot of just whipped cream or Cool Whip or whatever in their desserts. They'll make a sponge cake and then they'll like soak it down, and then they'll put a lot of like big old like the cake is this thick, but then there's that much cream. But then they also put a bunch of different types of fruits, decorative fruits in between all that. And we used to say, well, now it's healthy because there's fruit, right? And they use a lot of fruits over there. Over in Asian countries, and they usually have that it's a delicacy. They usually use fruit as their sweetener. They're using fruit as a that they don't use a lot of icing. They don't use a lot of things like that we use. We use a lot of icing, and they use fruit, the natural sugars, and not only that, they also make it look so pretty. Their cutting skills and the way they present it is a sculpture. So we used to say, we're like, look at that massive cake they're making, and they're cutting in massive slices and stuff, and we're like, but it's got fruit on it, it's healthy. So that's an inside joke for me and my daughter. But if you say that joke too, hey, you're including the fam. So, anyways, so this dude pulls out some strawberries. What is he gonna do with the strawberries? I'm thinking, oh, he's just gonna clean them, cut the tops off, and just plop a strawberry there. No, he's not. He's gonna clean them, cut the tops off, cut it in half, and then position them where they almost look like a little heart, but not flat. They sit up, so they kind of stand up like a little sculpture, and they look so cute sitting on top into this cheesecake. When the cheesecake filling is into the puff pastry that I didn't know that puffed up, even though the name says puff. Anyways, so then he proceeded. Now at this point, I thought, okay, so he's done. It's 3 ingredients. You got the puff pastry, cheesecake filling, and you have the strawberries. But no, it's not 3 ingredients because this man comes out with some dang powdered sugar. Yeah, he comes out and proceeds to sprinkle powdered sugar all over on top of the strawberries and stuff. And now it looks all Christmassy. All you're missing is a little green. And I'm thinking all you're missing is a little garnish on there. And I would have took the tops of the strawberries and put it on there too. And just to add your green, or add a little mint to it, like a A little garnish. That's what I would probably do. But if you want to be fancy. But yeah. Anyways, and so I'm sitting on, and then after he did that, he goes, and here's your dessert. Each box, I guess, has 6, I guess, in there. So I guess he makes 2 boxes. And I'm like, okay. But then I got thinking, what do you do with the tops? He literally scooped the tops out. What do you do with those? Other people say in the comment section, we're saying, oh, just put it on the side or put it on top or by the side. And that way people get the whole pastry. They get the whole thing and it doesn't go to waste. Other people say, oh no, that's what you're eating. That's what you're snacking on while you're making this dessert. The second people, they're my people. Because no, I'm not putting it back on the tray to give to you. No, I'm snacking while I'm making this. Because, one, it's probably, if I'm going to make this for Thanksgiving, probably haven't eaten. So, I'm eating while I'm making. So, yeah. Anyway, if you're making a dessert and you're not snacking while you're making that dessert, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. I don't trust you. You have to be snacking. If you're scooping and you're cutting the dessert in half and you're putting the other part aside and saying it's saving for later, you're wrong. You are not my people. You're doing it all wrong. You have to eat a little nibble while you cooking. You have to. Anyways, so this guy proceeds and he said it's presented, and what do I do? I immediately get on every store app or website I can find in my area looking for puff pastry shells. What do I find? Out of stock. When I finally found my dessert, out of freaking stock. Go figure. So I'm thinking everybody else saw this dang video. Everybody else saw this video. And I just now saw it. And they went out there and said they're going to do this thing. So I sit there. And when I did find a store that actually has it, I'm like, I'm not driving that far for puff pastry. No. So, but I'm thinking I can probably send my husband. And what does Girly do? The next morning, I asked my husband, hey, can you run to this store while you're running out, doing some errands or whatever it is? Can you pick up me a couple boxes of this stuff and these pastries? He's like, what? Sure, what store? He's thinking neighborhood store, right? No. He's thinking, here in local area. No. Yeah, and I told him where, and he's like, no, we don't need that extra dessert. We'll just figure something else out. No, we don't need it. Okay, so I'm like, fine. And then he mentions another store, which is right down the street from me. Tell me, why didn't I think of this store? Why did I not think of this store? Because I literally looked at every other store besides this one store, which is literally blocks from me. And I look at this one store. I have the app, which is Go Figure. I look at the app. They have some. Okay, yay. I'm so excited. So I look it up. I tell him, I said, hey, they have it. Can you go get it? He goes, how many boxes do you need? I said, just give me 1 or 2 boxes. I'll be fine. Because we already have the 2 pumpkin pies I'm making. Plus, we're going to have an apple pie. I think that's plenty of desserts for us. Because we're going to have abundance of other actual real food to be eating. It's just, dessert is dessert, right? Tell me why this man comes home with 4 boxes. So, and each box has 6. That's 24 pastries. This man bought me like a little over $20 worth of freaking puff pastry shells. And I remember telling him, I said, do not get the sheets. All the store has the sheets. They don't have the shells. I need the shells because that's what makes it's a shell. And of course, my brain didn't click when I thought about it, and I was amazed why it was hollow on the inside because it's a shell. It's going to be hollow on the inside. Why did I not think that? I don't know. It was nighttime medicine. I don't know, but I'm clear-headed now. But this man brought me 4 boxes. So now I've got to next. They're right now in my deep freezer because I have no room in my other freezer. So I'm like, just store them in there. They'll be good for about a week. And then come Thanksgiving, I'll pull them out and I can do it. The cool thing about it is when I did go back and look at the boxes, it is only 15 minutes. So I'm like, I could do these that morning. That is not a big deal. And I could do the pies the day before. I could do that. Well, except for the apple pie. I don't like to make it the day before because then, apples and it gets all gummy like. So the filling. So not only that pie dough. So I can do the pumpkin. I'm going to do the pumpkin obviously, the night before. But all I do in the morning is make an apple pie and make those puff pastries. And then I have the rest of the extended family is going to make sides. And my daughter apparently is really good at making her turkey. She makes the Martha Stewart turkey, which I made when she was little. And I never made a turkey in my life. And it was absolutely fabulous. And it looked beautiful. And it was great. And I ended up, and I have pictures of it actually, and her standing by it when she was like 3 years old. And ever since then, and I kept the, the recipe, and she's done it ever since. So, well, not done it ever since she was 3, but she's done it over the last couple of years. So, and it turns out awesome. Plus, we also buy other turkeys and we cook as well. So we'll have one that's also obviously baked. We may fry or we may smoke a turkey, but we have options and seasoning, flavors, and whatever. But yeah, so that is my saga. And I mean, to add to it, I think it's crazy because to add to it, while I was looking at my puff, the puff pastry things, if you made this far, here's a bonus thing. Can you answer this question for me? I was also looking at other, grocery items. I was like, okay, I would like to try some more of the holiday, sodas out there. You know how like Coke does their thing, Dr. Pepper sometimes does their things, whatever. I missed out on the Halloween Fanta thing this year. I did get Beetlejuice last year and I actually liked it. It was like an apple or whatever. But I missed out on the Chucky Fruit Punch Fanta. And because everywhere I go, it was sold out. So I missed out on that one this year. But I did manage this year. Coca-Cola has what's called Holiday Cream Vanilla, or I may get those words backwards or something like that. But it looks like, and don't be fooled, it kind of looks like in the container, it looks like it's the caffeine-free container because it's gold, but it has white stripes on it. And don't be fooled also because there's a darker version and a light version. One version is Coke Zero and the other one is just the regular. So most people, I don't drink. If it's going to be soda, I'm not drinking no diet, zero, no calorie stuff. If I want no calorie, zero, whatever, I'll just get sparkling water and throw a Crystal Light in there. I am not drinking. If I want a soda, I want a soda. Okay? So, and don't come at me with fat jokes here and that I don't need drinks, I don't need soda, whatever it is. Don't come at me with that because I am normal. I'm an American. I'm supposed to be fat. Okay? Leave me alone. Anyways, so I come across, I'm looking at it. I did try the holiday version of it. It is really good. It tastes more like the vanilla Coke, just like regular vanilla Coke. It has probably a little bit more of a creamier, aftertaste, but it's not. It's not like, oh, it's brand new flavor. If you like vanilla Coke, you'll like this. I'm just going to say it like that. My husband doesn't like it, so I don't care. It's for me. So, and I also got the Sprite cranberry. It's like Sprite spiced cranberry. All it is cranberry juice with Sprite mixed together. But when you pour it in a glass, it's clear like Sprite. So please, if you have friends, it can go one or two ways. If you want to play a joke on them, pour them one of those and let them think that they're getting regular Sprite. Because I guarantee you they're going to be tasting it and it's going to be off. And it's going to be funny. 2, if someone asks you to give them a Sprite, give them a Sprite. Do not give them this if that's not what they are looking for. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like the Sprite Chill. There goes the sun again. It's kind of like the Sprite Chill. I like that one because the Sprite Chill, it's like a weird mentholy taste, aftertaste, which is kind of weird to me. But I kind of like it. It's not really mentholy. It's like you like it's equivalent to chewing some gum like peppermint gum or spearmint gum, and then you know how you spit after it loses its flavor, you spit it out even though you still kind of taste the mintiness in your mouth, and then you take a drink of Sprite or 7 Up. That's what it tastes like to me. I don't mind that taste. It's really refreshing. I do like that. It's kind of like a cooling sensation, but it doesn't last very long and it's not as strong, but you do taste it. So I do like that one. But yeah, so I was looking at these sodas, right? And I thought it was kind of weird that these sodas, the holiday sodas that are regular, okay, actually, it's not even really just a holiday. It's actually all the sodas, really. Okay, so how come you tell me this? The ones that are regular, let's just throw a price out there. I think I was looking at Target. I think it was like a little over $8 because they were like they're like 3 for $16 right now, or 3 for $18 or whatever. So on the 12 pack. So the um let's say it's like 8 something, right? Tell me why the ones that are like the zero or no calorie or whatever it's called, diet or whatever, they're the exact same price. It doesn't matter if it's Coke or Dr. Pepper or Pepsi. It's the same thing. They're the same price, right? How come they can't apply that to food? Okay. If I want a food item that's sugar free or diet or whatever on any actual edible food items, how come I'm paying more? But when it comes to soda and drinks, I want diet, no sugar, zero sugar, or whatever, or sugar freeze, I'm not paying extra on my drinks, but I'm paying extra on the food. Make that make sense. And we already know a lot of these drink companies own some of the food companies, or vice versa. They own them. So if you could do it on your drinks, why are you not doing it on your foods? It makes no sense. Make it make sense. I mean, I can understand the concept. I mean, you can't make it make sense. We are saying you take out a an ingredient, but you're charging me more. I get that because originally the item was supposed to be made with this ingredient, and now you're making us have to go back and not in bulk, but go back and have to make something special for you. It's kind of like gluten free. It's we have to take something out of what the product was intended, and we have to do something special. So it's going to take a little bit more different concept. So I understand why you would charge more for that, but at the same time, it doesn't make sense because when it comes to if you're doing that concept with the food, how come you're not doing that concept with the sodas or the juices and the drinks? How come the price is about the same? It doesn't make sense. I don't know. Anyways, so and then another thing that came across is the extra bonus. Congratulations for making it this far in my video. Um, this will be the last one, I promise. I was looking at I was looking at some ice cream. I have to have dairy free. It's not that I'm allergic to dairy. It's that when it comes to ice cream, I cannot have really dairy in it for some reason. And it just tears my stomach up. I just can't have it. I don't know why. I can have milk if it's mixed with other things only, but I choose not to on that part. And I can have milk like if I go to Starbucks, I can have it, but I usually try to get soy just to be safe. But when it comes to ice cream, no, I cannot have milk in it. My body's just really weird like that. So when I look for ice cream, I'm looking at, and again, don't come at me. I don't eat ice cream. I get it. Don't come at me with that. Okay. I'm American. I'm fat. I'm supposed to be, leave me alone. So with ice cream, I'm looking for dairy free, which is, we already know there's not a whole lot of options out there. But, what few options we do have. I thought, well, I'm fine with just basic vanilla. That's okay. I'm looking. I'm scrolling. You tell me why. is it on, you tell me why it is underneath the Jenny's brand ice cream. And if that sounds familiar to you guys, go back so a couple years ago. Well, not a couple, really, more like, probably more than 5 or 6 years ago. There was a whole video. I think when Nancy Pelosi opened up her freezer in her refrigerator. She had a bottom freezer, and it was stocked with nothing but Jenny's ice cream. And she keeps talking about Jenny's ice cream. And this also stirred up a whole thing. Conspiracy theorists are talking about ice cream means um, other things like children. So, but and it seemed like she was subliminally talking about it. But I'm not trying to get political here. So if you like Nancy Pelosi, sorry, but um, but she talked about Jenny's ice cream, and suddenly it was a big thing. Everybody was talking about Jenny's ice cream, and it went around, and so Target has Jenny's ice creams. And I was like, for some reason, it's the first time when I typed in dairy free, apparently it came up, but it came up. And they have their holiday ones. And I was like, oh, cool. Tell me, why do they have, it's an eggnog ice cream, which is fine. I've seen eggnog ice cream, boozy eggnog ice cream. And I literally had to look at the ingredients. It has whiskey and bourbon in it. Why can't I get dairy free version? Just asking for a friend. Why can't I get, why can't the dairy free manufacturers out there, like of all the ice creams, why can't y'all make holiday ice creams for us, for people that need dairy free ice cream? You can make eggnog, which is hard to find, by the way. Dairy free eggnog is really hard. And when you do find it, it is twice the price of regular eggnog out there, which blows my mind because I've now converted my daughter and so forth. I converted them that, hey, they like to drink my milk and my dairy free stuff. So I needed them both, please. But anyways, so check it out if you want some boozy ice cream. Jenny's has got it. So anyways, that's all I got for you guys today. It's just my little thing going on, talking about Thanksgiving and pies. So it looks like we're going to have 2 pumpkins, 1 apple cinnamon, and probably this puff pastry thing. I'll probably talk about it or post pictures on my social media. So if you're on there, check me out, follow me. My links are in somewhere. They're probably not in the description, but they're somewhere on my YouTube page. You can find me on there, and I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Bye.